Ahoy, puppets! I'm Captain Justin Kase of the Pirates of the Sea Monkey, and I am here today to read to you another story. Now, this week's story is called Parrots for Parrots by a fellow pirate of mine, Anna Maria Sophia Cancelli. And Sophia, if I'm saying that name wrong, I do apologize. Now, you might have noticed on my hat I do have some parrot feathers. So, lots of pirates love parrots, and today's story is going to be about a relationship, about the parrot named Sunny when he's met up with some pirates. Now, what's really nice about Pirates for Parrots is that the fact that this book, not only being a good story, is also a fundraiser for the Cape Fear Parrot Sanctuary. This is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that rescues and rehabilitates parrots in the North Carolina area. So this is actually a really good fundraiser for them. So after you enjoy this story, please go to Amazon, buy one of these books, and the proceeds will actually go to the Cape Fear Parrot Sanctuary. Well, we're not going to waste any more time, so hopefully you have your literary juice. I have mine. Hopefully you've washed your hands, and we are going to start the story with Chapter 1, Sunny's Grand Adventure. On a bright, warm afternoon deep in the heart of the rainforest, Sunny and Logan hopped from branch to branch, climbing high up in a tree on a journey to see what lay beyond the thick foliage. Sunny, a bright yellow sun conure, and his friend Logan, a cockatiel, were on a grand adventure. Being young boys, the two played high in a tree, pretending to be explorers on quests for new lands. "I spy a ship," Sunny shouted. Where? Let me see," urged Logan, pushing Sunny aside so he could peek through the leaves. "Look, toward the horizon," Sunny replied. Lowering his wings in disappointment, Logan turned to Sunny and said, "There's no ship out there." "Yes, there is," Sunny gleefully replied. "It's beyond the horizon. We just can't see it yet." The two friends sat in silence, peering out through the leaves, squinting their eyes tighter and tighter, hoping to catch a glimpse of a topsail. "Boys, it's time to come home. The sun is setting," hollered Sunny's mom from a distance. Well, without hesitation, Sunny and Logan flew home to the safety of their families. They knew that tomorrow would bring another opportunity for exploration and adventure. Just as soon as the sun came up the next day, Sunny and Logan were up in the tree, pretending to be explorers again. They fashioned flower petals into helmets, because they believed no self-respecting explorer would embark on a journey without a helmet for protection. The two boys searched dozens of trees for the perfect perch from which they could have an unobstructed view of the sea. After finding the perfect perch, they turned their gaze to the ocean and hoped a ship would come into view. "Sunny, what do we do if we actually see a ship?" Logan asked. "Well, if it's close to shore, we should try to fly out to it," Sunny thoughtfully replied. "What? Why would we fly out to a ship without even knowing who or what is on it?" Logan asked. "Because we're on an adventure," Sunny responded. "But Sunny, we're just pretending to be explorers. We can't just fly aboard a boat we know nothing about. It might be dangerous," Logan explained. And in a most serious tone, Sunny declared, "I want a real adventure. I want to go on a voyage. I'm tired of being stuck here in the forest. I want to see what the world has to offer." Logan, always being the voice of reason, responded by saying, "Sunny, you just can't leave your family and friends. Parrots live in flocks. The world outside of the forest may not be the safest place if you're all alone." "Safety schmafety," Sunny said. "I'm young and I want to go on an adventure." Logan flapped his wings in disagreement and hoped that a ship would never come into sight. All of a sudden, the bright sun illuminated something moving on the sea. "A ship!" screamed Sunny. "I see a ship! See it, Logan?" "Yes," answered his friend in a very disappointed tone. "Yes, I see a ship." Spreading his wings as wide as he could, Sunny flew out of the tree, across the beach, and toward the ocean. The ship was close to shore, so Sunny reached it in no time at all and circled it a time or two. A few of the sailors aboard the sloop noticed Sunny and curiously observed as he flew around the topsail. Seeing that he had the attention of the sailors, Sunny swooped in and flew above their heads. "Avast, mates!" one of the sailors called. "Look at that mighty fine bird trying to get our attention." "A mighty fine bird indeed," commented another sailor. What a fine companion he would make, yet another sailor said. And all the sailors then began to laugh. Sunny took this as a sign that the men aboard the ship were a friendly bunch, so he swooped in low and perched atop one of their shoulders. This amused the men, who laughed even more, making Sunny very happy. So happy he didn't give any thought to returning home that day, and instead stayed aboard the ship well after sunset. Logan waited for Sunny as long as he could, then flew home once the sun went down. "Help! Help! Pirates have abducted Sunny!" screamed Logan as he landed on his family's tree. "Logan, stop telling tales," cautioned his mother. "Mom, it's not a tale. Sunny and I were pretending to be explorers when we saw a ship sailing close to shore. Sunny flew out of it, and now the ship is out to sea with Sunny on board. Mom, we have to help," Logan urged. Logan's mother tried to calm him down by telling him that Sunny wasn't gone for good and would soon fly home. Logan explained that Sunny wanted an adventure and was eager to go on a voyage. Since Sunny flew off while the sun was still high in the sky and had not returned by sunset, Logan's mother decided to form a search party. All the birds in the village flew to the shore in search of Sunny, but no ship could be seen on the sea. When asked what the ship looked like, the only detail Logan could remember was a black flag with a skull and crossbones flying from the main mast. "Pirates!" Sunny's mother shrieked. "My darling son has been abducted by pirates!" "He wasn't abducted," Logan stated. "He wanted to go on an adventure." Sunny's mother cried. She refused to believe her son was gone for good and insisted that a search party find him and bring him home. Sunny's mother knew exactly who needed to lead the expedition. Charlie, the Picasso of Parrots. Chapter 2. Charlie, the Picasso of Parrots. Charlie spent his days painting. He was an eclectus, with a bright green head and a pleasing personality. Everyone liked him even though he had a few feathers. He was different from all the other parrots in the village, but he was well liked and respected because he was talented and kind. Once he heard about Sunny disappearing with the brigands, well, he was eager to help find the bird boy and bring him home. Under the cloak of darkness, Sunny's mom, Charlie, Logan, and a flock of parrots from the village made their way to the other side of the forest to a bay where the new ships sometimes docked. One ship was in the bay, but it was not flying the flag Logan said he saw on the sloop that took Sunny away. Charlie gathered all the parrots together to discuss their next move. According to Charlie, pirates would keep their identity hidden until they were well out into the open sea and ready to strike. And only then would they hoist the Jolly Roger and use it as a way to intimidate those aboard the ship they were planning to capture. For that reason, Charlie suggested that they wait until nightfall and board the ship in the bay because that vessel, well, it just might be carrying the pirates that Sunny took up with. As soon as the sun went down and the stars came up, the moon cast a dim glow across the bay. The ship weighed anchor and slowly slipped from the dock. "Take flight!" announced Charlie. And the parrots took heed of the command and flew aboard the ship, which belonged to Captain Dogfish Brigands. Once aboard the ship, the parrots found safe places to hide while waiting for the sailors to fall asleep. The plan was to search for Sunny once the last sailor took his hammock for the night. A thorough search revealed that Sunny was nowhere to be found on this particular pirate ship. And once morning came, the parrots listened to the sailors' conversations and learned that the ship they were aboard was a pirate ship, on its way to meet a plethora of other pirates somewhere along the Carolina coast. The parrots stayed hidden to avoid detection so they could safely travel to the Carolina coast and continue their search for Sunny. Well, Charlie was very curious, and even though he should have been hiding with the other parrots, he could not help but take a walk on deck to investigate further. "Hello," he heard a sweet voice call. "Hello?" Charlie replied. "Pleased to meet you," the sweet voice spoke. When Charlie turned to look in the direction of the voice, he saw a gorgeous macaw, the loveliest he had ever seen. "I'm Tova," the beautiful female parrot announced. I'm Charlie," mumbled the eclectus. "What brings you aboard, Charlie?" Tova asked. Charlie was a bit tongue-tied at the sight of the beautiful ladybird, but he did manage to explain. Well, my friends and I are trying to track down our wayward flock member, Sunny, who left on a pirate ship.
Luckily for my captain is a friend to parrots,
offered Tova.
Once we have arrived at our destination, we can ask Captain Dogfish Briggins if he would be willing to help.
Charlie felt happy knowing that there was a chance Sunny would be found and his heart filled with joy. He also felt a strong sense of purpose, and suddenly felt something he had never felt before. Smitten. Chapter 3. Sunny's New Friends. The journey to Carolina was long and filled with everything from fair winds to foul weather. Captain Dogfish Briggins' ship finally arrived to the Carolina coast, not far from the mouth of the Cape Fear River. The parrots flew ashore and were surprised to see other birds just like them perched in the nearby trees. They met a blue and gold macaw named Two-Toes Bow, who told of the forest flock that he had seen a conure as bright as the sun aboard a ship belonging to Captain Waylay Wayne, a known pirate. The flock, along with Two-Toes Bow, then flew along the shore, where they listened carefully and watched closely, hoping to locate Sunny. Sunny was with Captain Waylay Wayne, who was in a shop laughing it up with the merchants while negotiating the price of a wheel of cheese. Sunny was perched atop Captain Waylay Wayne's shoulder, helping him count coins to pay for the cheese. Sunny had never seen currency before, and he didn't understand why pirates found it so important. Well, you can buy food, you can buy drink, and just have a little to make a person feel superior, Captain Waylay explained. What does it mean to be superior? Sunny asked. You see, Captain Waylay said, some of us were not born with wealth, and because of that we looked down upon. But to have money in me pocket makes me feel like I'm just as good as those who are rich. Well, this confused Sunny because he had never knew his family or friends to think that they were better than other parrots. He then flew off and helped a lady pirate named Rusty Buckles collect little jewels hidden in the sand. What is so important about collecting jewels? Sunny asked Rusty. 'Tis fun, Rusty replied. Well, Sunny didn't understand that either, because when he was home in the forest, the only thing he needed for fun was a tree to climb with his friend Logan. Sunny felt sad when he thought of Logan. He felt even more sad when he thought of his mother and the other parrots in the village. He realized he was the only parrot among all the pirates, and that made him feel lonely. He liked his new pirate friends, but he missed his forest friends and his family. That night before going to sleep, Sunny wished that he would be able to see his friend Logan and his family again soon. Well, the following morning, the sound of a voice barking orders woke up Sunny. He opened his eyes and flew down to the deck where all the pirates were furiously working on making the ship ready for departure. What's going on? Sunny asked Captain Waylay Wayne. The governor's men are after us, Captain Waylay Wayne replied. They say the coins and the jewels we have do not belong to us. Surely we will be punished if they catch us, so we must weigh anchor and set sail. Well, Captain Waylay Wayne and his crew left in a hurry and sailed along the Carolina coast into the Cape Fear River in an attempt to escape from the governor's men. Captain Waylay Wayne knew that once he made it through the mouth of the river, he would be able to sail inland, find a waterway to hide in, and return to sea once the coast was clear. Chapter 4. The Parrots of Cape Fear. Upon receiving word that Captain Waylay Wayne, his crew members Rusty Buckles, and a bright yellow conure left port in a hurry to escape capture, well, Charlie and the flock flew back to the ship belonging to Captain Dogfish Briggins. I have a plan, announced Charlie. I'm sure Captain Briggins is a reasonable man, so let's ask him if he will take us for a ride up the Cape Fear. Certainly he won't turn down our request, especially if Tova will lead us to him. Follow me, called Tova, leading the flock to her captain. Well, initially, Captain Dogfish Briggins was not interested in taking orders from a flock of parrots. I will do no such thing, Captain Dogfish Briggins said in response to Charlie's request. I'm a captain. I make the orders, not take the orders. Besides, there's no good reason for me to sail up the Cape Fear. Captain Briggins! Hollered Bo the boatswain. The governor's men are searching for pirates. No one must leave the ship. We must cast off immediately, or surely we will be punished. Well, Captain Dogfish Briggins turned to Tova and the other parrots and said, Well now, I believe we will indeed be taking a trip up the Cape Fear after all. The winds be fair, so let's cast off and we'll find your fine feathered friend Sunny. When the ship entered the Cape Fear River, the parrots were amazed at how much the lands on each side of the river looked like the forest they called home. They were also surprised that so many birds of every type could be seen flying between the trees that lined the riverbank. "Avast! Pirate ship ahead!" shouted one of the pirates who had been keeping watch through a spyglass. Upon that announcement, the parrots took to the sky, flapping their wings as fast as they could to catch up to the ship ahead of them. Captain Dogfish Briggins' ship soon dropped anchor along the side of the sloop belonging to Captain Waylay Wayne. Side by side, the two ships floated silently. "Ahoy!" called Captain Dogfish Briggins. "Ahoy, I say!" "Well, ahoy!" Captain Waylay Wayne called back. "I understand you have a parrot on board named Sunny. His family and friends are looking for him," hollered Captain Dogfish Briggins. "Ah, yes," replied Captain Waylay Wayne. "A plethora of parrots just boarded and are reuniting with young Sunny." "Very well indeed," replied Captain Dogfish Briggins. "May I be allowed to board?" "Aye," replied Captain Waylay Wayne. "Aye." As the birds celebrated, the two captains stood face to face, looking suspiciously at each other. "Perhaps, if you give me some of your coins and jewels, I will let ye and your crew sail away unharmed," offered Captain Dogfish Briggins. "Well, perhaps if ye and your birds get off me ship, I will make sure ye and your crew do not sink to the bottom of this river," Captain Waylay Wayne shouted in reply. "What's going on here?" Charlie asked. "There's no reason to fight, and there's certainly no reason to take something that does not belong to you, Captain Briggins." "He took it from someone else," Captain Dogfish Briggins replied. "I have just as much right to it as he does." "Well, that makes no sense," Charlie replied. Charlie could not understand why the two captains were so interested in coins and jewels. He also did not understand how either captain could feel he had the right to things that did not belong to either of them. Because the parrots were so busy reuniting with Sunny, and because the two captains were involved in an altercation, no one noticed that a third ship sailed up. "Avast!" called an officer standing on the deck of the third ship. "We are here on behalf of the governor. All pirates will be taken captive and all will be punished." "Oh no!" cried Logan. "How will we get home?" "Yes, how are these birds going to get home?" Captain Waylay Wayne asked the officer. "Surely ye will leave me be so I may take these parrots back to the forest. It's too far for them to fly home." "Excuse me," interrupted Captain Dogfish Briggins, "but I carry the majority of these parrots to this point. Surely I must be the one to take them all home." "Now look here," hollered the lieutenant. "All pirates will be punished for crimes of thievery." Well, the pirates were then forced to disembark their ships and board the governor's ship. The parrots flew into the governor's ship to find out what fate the pirates would meet. Even parrots perched in trees along the Cape Fear River flew down and landed on the deck of the governor's ship to see what would happen. Tova decided to be friendly and greet the Cape Fear parrots. "Hello, I am Sinbad. Pleased to meet you," a yellow-naped Amazon replied. "I was poached from my homeland, brought here to Carolina where I was sold. But I outlived my owner, and now I live here among the Cape Fear River in the trees." "Hello, I am Bella," a lovely little cockatiel said. "I was a present for a little girl, but I was too much for her to take care of, so now I live in a tree on the bank of this river." And one by one the Cape Fear parrots came forward, introduced themselves, and told their sad tale. They had all lost their owners or their homes, and had come together and created a community in the trees that bordered the Cape Fear River. All the pirates and all the governor's men stood on deck watching the Cape Fear birds tell their sad tales, and there was not a dry eye aboard the ship. I have a plan, said the lieutenant. What if we get the governor to pardon the pirates? And what if the conditions of that pardon include turning over a new leaf? So rather than taking things, the pirates gave back instead. Well, a hush fell over Cape Fear. What if, continued the lieutenant, what if the pirates gave back by, say, building a proper home for these parrots and helping to take care of them? Everyone remained silent. But then, "Huzzah!" shouted Rusty Buckles. "Why, I think that is a fine idea. I, for one, would enjoy helping provide for these fine feathered creatures." "Indeed," cheered Captain Dogfish Briggins. "I concur, and I too would be pleased to be of service to these beautiful birds." "I am ready to build aviaries. Who's with me?" asked Captain Waylay Wains. And all the pirates and all the parrots cheered wildly. "But what about us?" asked Charlie. "How are we going to get back home to the rainforest?" "Well, I have an idea," shouted Logan. "I have a plan for all of us to have an adventure and to help our Cape Fear friends." Well, Sonny was amazed. In all the years he had been friends with Logan, he had seen him as a follower rather than a leader. He also knew that Logan was afraid to try new things. Well, now he spoke of adventure. What a day! He couldn't wait to hear what Logan had to say. "I propose," continued Logan, "that all of us from the rainforest help our Cape Fear friends get settled into their new homes and to experience new things." Charlie spoke up and said, "I think Logan has a fine idea. A fine idea indeed. Like, we were all willing to help find Sonny when he went off on his little adventure. So we should help our Cape Fear friends now that they are all in need." And all the pirates and all the parrots cheered wildly. And so began another adventure for pirates and parrots. They would travel up the Cape Fear River to find the perfect place to build a sanctuary where parrots would live in safety and serenity and be taken care of by their pirate friends. And that ends the first part of Pirates for Parrots. Tune in next week where we're going to read the second part, where we're going to see the further adventures of Sonny, Logan, Charlie, Rusty Buckles, Captain Dogfish Briggins, in part 2 of Pirates for Parrots, written by Anna Maria Sophia Cancelli. All right, until then, I am Captain Just in Case of the Pirates of the Sea Monkey. Thank you for joining me.